Why is the Japanese yen so weak right now? If you're a tourist in Japan, you might have noticed you're getting a lot more for your money. In 2020, this rice ball cost about $1.25. Now it costs 86 cents, and the yen just keeps falling. There are lots of reasons behind this, but one factor is because Japan's interest rates are much lower compared to those in other countries. Japan's key interest rate is about 0 to 0.1% after it experimented with negative interest rates for 8 years to fight chronic deflation. But it's still much lower than the US's, where it's over 5%. And it doesn't look like the Federal Reserve will lower interest rates soon, so investors are selling the yen for the dollar because of the increased return that they get. We're seeing tourists flock to Japan now, while people here stick to traveling locally.
So, brothers, if you've not been sleeping or hiding under a rock, right? The Japanese yen is super low. So as of right now, one British pound, okay, is equivalent to 200 yen. That is crazy. So essentially, right, if you take your dollars and your pounds to Japan right now, you are living like a king, literally earning around $80,000 a year, right? Is king status in Japan right now, brothers. Your money is going further when you buy food, electronics, clothes, brothers. That's why IT, right, gives you that freedom. Okay, imagine remote working in Japan right now, brothers, and spending your dollars right in Japan. You're a king over there. So, Theo, what's your thoughts here on the Japanese yen being so low, and how can we as brothers take advantage of it, Theo? Break it down.
I was ticked off by what she stated, because basically the exchange rates, the interest rates have been low in Japan for the last 30 years. So they don't have it. That isn't what's going on. It's been this way. Look, in 95, one point the yen was 78. At one point in 1998, it was 147. And there were different reasons for this, but the interest rate by the Fed, Japan's Fed, basically, the Bank of Japan, was the same throughout that entire time. Look, guys, there's various reasons why the exchange rate, it goes up and down. Us in Japan don't really care. And the main we make all the calculations at 100 yen, 100 yen per dollar. Sometimes it's 100, sometimes it's 120. What you're seeing right now, what we call enyasu. So enyasu means the weak yen or cheap yen. It doesn't last. And the opposite of enyasu is called endaka, which is the strong yen or the hard yen. And that also happens. It can go down to 80. So I'll just look at a historical. Right after the Fukushima earthquake in 2011, the yen was at 80 yen to the dollar. So, again, there's various reasons why this happens. Take it with a grain of salt, what somebody says. It's not going to be at 160 to the dollar. It's not going to be at 200 to the pound for a long, extended period of time. If you want to go there for the summer, go ahead, fine. That's something a little cute. But if you're doing long-term planning, you need to plan the yen being between 110 and 120 yen to the dollar. That actually makes sense. About 170 yen to the pound. That's actually a more rational way of doing things.
Awesome, Theo. Before you would say right now it's a great time to be a passport bro. Actually, looking at flight tomorrow to Japan and living like a king, boarding out there, because the dollars go so far and the pound goes so far right now in Japan because it's so cheap at the moment. So it's a great time to be a passport bro.
If you want to live like a king, I would do Malaysia, Vietnam, Colombia, Thailand. You're still having to pay for things in Japan. It's still expensive. So it's just cheaper, but it's if you like Brazil is just ridiculously cheap. It's 1/5 the price. If you get this with the Enyasa right now, you're basically maybe getting a 10 or a 15% discount on with the prices. That's about all. That's it. So it's not going to be there forever, guys. Yeah. Do it this summer if you want to, maybe the fall, but the exchange rate will normalize soon enough.
So, brothers, now's the time to go out there. It won't be here forever. Go out there and enjoy yourself in Japan. Great country, great vibes, great woman. You will love it. Great food too. And if you're in IT right now, you could be working there remotely for the next 1 or 2 months. That's why we're teaching Python and cloud as well. Join the Python course and join the cloud course. You could be out there in Japan right now, balling. Listen to us, brothers. Awesome.